Imagine having a contract sitting on your desk worth $500 million. That was the reality for Lionel Messi in the summer of 2023. After choosing to close his legendary European chapter at Paris Saint-Germain, Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal came in with a historic offer, an eye-watering $1.6 billion over 3 years. On paper, it was the largest sports contract ever negotiated. Yet Messi turned it down. Instead, he packed his bags for South Florida to sign with Inter Miami, a club that was dead last in Major League Soccer at the time. To the casual observer, this looked like a retirement under the sun. After all, his official guaranteed salary in MLS was just a fraction of that Saudi deal. But here's the secret. Messi didn't take a pay cut. Instead of accepting flat, liquid cash from a state-backed fund, Messi chose to align himself with the corporate titans of North American business. He traded weekly wages for structured equity, royalty, and subscription splits. Today, we are bringing out the clipboard to show you the mechanics behind one of the most sophisticated contracts in sports history. This is the story of how Messi didn't just sign a player contract, he rewrote sports contracts for the rest of history. To understand how Messi gets paid, we have to look past the standard payroll. Messi's compensation is disclosed via two figures, base salary and total guaranteed compensation. Upon entering the league in July 2023, Messi's initial contract carried a base salary of $12 million a year and a total guaranteed compensation of over $20 million. Following a contract extension signed in October of 2025, his compensation underwent a dramatic step-up. His base salary more than doubled to $25 million, with total guaranteed compensation rising to over $28 million. However, this represents only a fraction of his true earnings. Messi's total annual intake ranges between $70 million and $80 million. A majority of his end-of-year total compensation comes from several unique variable revenue streams. While his guaranteed salary is a fixed cost, his variable revenue shares are tied directly to the performance of corporate league partners. But how does Inter Miami afford to pay for this? In elite European football, broadcasting distributions from national leagues often constitute 40% to 50% of a club's total revenue mix. However, Inter Miami operates slightly differently. Sponsorships and commercial contracts generate an extraordinary 55% of Inter Miami's total revenue base. In contrast, direct media and television rights account for a mere 2% of the club's revenue mix. This is a byproduct of Major League Soccer's centralized broadcasting model. The MLS consolidated its media rights into a singular, 10-year, $2.5 billion agreement with Apple TV. Because the league retains the vast majority of media revenue to distribute equally across franchises, Inter Miami cannot directly monetize the global viewership surge through traditional means. This causes the club to aggressively shift its monetization strategies toward commercial partnerships to fund high-value players like Messi. This brings us to the tech giant pulling the strings, Apple. When Apple TV signed its historic $2.5 billion deal for MLS broadcast rights, they faced a challenge backing up this investment with actual increases in subscriptions. Instead of paying for traditional digital ad campaigns, Apple used Lionel Messi as its primary selling point. The impact on Apple's subscription base was immediate. On July 21, 2023, the day of Messi's debut match, MLS Season Pass registered 110,000 new signups, compared to just over 6,000 signups the previous day, a day-over-day signup surge of nearly 1,700%. To incentivize Messi, Apple created a revenue-sharing agreement where Messi receives a direct percentage of all global international signups to the MLS Season Pass platform. But Apple isn't the only company funding this contract. Adidas also stepped in with its own unique revenue-sharing proposal. Messi has maintained an active partnership with Adidas since 2006, upgraded to a lifetime endorsement deal in 2017 valued at approximately $25 million per year. Adidas proposed that Messi receive a direct cut of all profit increases that are directly attributable to his involvement in the league. This model capitalized on unprecedented demand for Adidas-branded Messi merchandise. Upon the launch of Inter Miami's signature pink number 10 kit, the jersey became the most sold shirt in MLS history. It quickly surged to the top of global soccer merchandise sales as well. This massive surge in volume directly affected Messi's revenue royalty, converting the units sold into cash for Messi. In fact, this influx of revenue even moved Adidas' shares on the stock market. Analysts increased the company's price target by 23%, from $86 to $112, which added roughly $10 billion to its market value. However, the crowning jewel of Messi's contract isn't the cash, it's ownership. When David Beckham signed with the LA Galaxy in 2007, his contract included an option allowing him to purchase an MLS expansion franchise for $25 million upon his retirement. The expansion fees for other incoming franchises had risen to $150 million and eventually scaled to $500 million. Beckham's option effectively represented a purchase at an extraordinary discount. Lionel Messi's contract features a similar option. Rather than receiving an option to buy an expansion team, Messi's contract grants him an option to purchase a minority stake in his current club, Inter Miami, upon his retirement. Because Messi's on-field performance, commercial draw, and global appeal are the primary reasons driving Inter Miami's valuation, his contract allows him to capture the upside he personally created. By executing his option post-retirement, which is rumored to be a 35% ownership option, Messi converts his playing contract into direct long-term equity in Inter Miami. Has this actually paid off for the owners of Inter Miami? The short answer is yes. Prior to Messi's arrival, Forbes valued Inter Miami at approximately $600 million. Following his signing, the franchise underwent an unprecedented appreciation in value. In 2024, the club crossed a historic threshold to reach $1 billion. In May 2026, valuation data confirmed that Inter Miami's enterprise value peaked at $1.35 billion, making it the most valuable franchise in Major League Soccer. This growth was driven by revenue scaling from a modest $56 million in 2022 to a record-breaking $200 million in 2024. The club cashed in on endorsements, replacing its $4 million front-of-shirt sponsor with a lucrative Royal Caribbean sponsorships. They also locked in a $19 million naming rights deal with a digital bank for their new stadium at Miami Freedom Park, with construction backed by a $650 million loan from J.P. Morgan. Ultimately, Lionel Messi's contract was never a traditional sports deal, it was an equity play. By leveraging the unique structure of the MLS, Messi bypassed standard salary limits to construct a massive wealth-generating machine backed by Apple, Adidas, and Inter Miami. The next time you see Messi playing under the lights in Miami and sipping on yerba mate before kickoff, remember, the legend you are watching has been plotting meticulously behind the scenes to secure massive financial wealth. If you want to see more deep dives into the sports finance world, give me suggestions in the comments and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video.